This week on Rock for Him, part one of our two-part episode with David Pataconi.
Hello and welcome into another episode of the Rock for Him podcast. I am your host, Sanchez. Joining me today, my good friend, my brother in Christ, the number two man, Riker Levine. Riker, my brother. What's up?
Uh, all good. How are you, Jason?
Good. Real good. So happy it's Monday and we get to do this. If you'll notice, once again, Jeremy's not on. He was supposed to be. He got delayed at work, so he said he'll try and catch it on Facebook and join in there if he can. But the man of the hour, look at that sweet mohawk. I love it. Yes, yes. David Pataconi, my brother. How is it going today?
Good, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me on here. I'm excited to talk with you guys again, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, like every time we have you on, it's always such just a fun time. I spend most of the time smiling and laughing, so it's always great to have you on.
I try
So
to
let's
keep you entertained. Yeah.
And that you do, like, you have got to be one of the busiest guys in music, I swear. Like, I,
I mean, I keep busy, but yeah, actually everything's kind of slowed down quite a bit for music, but yeah, now that I'm not working right now, but my schedule is busier than than it was when I was working. So,
nice.
yeah.
So before we get into it, I want to pitch something to you, and I want you to think about it. So Monica said she's thinking about restarting the Acidity, right?
Mhm.
So how about we have an Acidity song featuring David Pataconi, Theo Tarrant, and Turn in Line. Come on.
We could. I'm down for it. Yeah, if she wants me to, I'll definitely join her.
I mean, that would
Yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah, we
I
kind of did that with the song You Alone. It's,
Yeah.
David Pataconi featuring Theo Tarrant featuring Turn in Line, which is just David Pataconi and Monica.
Yes. When you sent that to us, I literally started laughing, called
Good.
Jeremy. I'm like, dude, this is David Pataconi featuring David Pataconi with guest vocals by David Pataconi. He's like,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. It's literally the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other, And then
Oh,
Monica's over there in the corner just shaking her head.
I'm guessing she probably does that to you a lot anyways.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm basically her big brother and she's my little sister, and so that's kind of how our relationship works. And I crack dad jokes, she rolls her eyes, and yeah. She's awesome though. I love my sister.
She is awesome. We got to get her back on here.
Yeah.
So, enough about her. We're not here to talk about her. We're here to talk about you. What do you got going on? What's up?
Well, since I was last on here, gosh, that's been a while.
Yeah.
Uh, I had appendicitis. They took out half my colon.
Yep.
Um, and then they found a tumor where my appendix blew up, and so all those cancer cells kind of went everywhere. So I've been dealing with stage 3 and now stage 4 cancer. Chemo hasn't worked, so I'm on a clinical trial. And the long story short, it's supposed to enable my immune system to attack the cancer. So I won't find out until April, early April, if it's working, but just praying that it is. And I can honestly say I could not do this without God, without everyone praying for me and my family. Like, dude, there is no such thing as a not powerful prayer.
For
Prayer is
sure.
the most powerful and wonderful and loving things we can do for one another. There's not a weak prayer out there because we don't serve a weak God. So I just want to start it off. Just thank you everyone who's been praying for my family, for me. Definitely couldn't do without you guys, and definitely couldn't do without God. I mean, He continues to give me joy and peace and hope and strength and just all the things I need. I don't have naturally, so I'm gonna give
Yeah,
Him all glory because I, I wouldn't be here without Him, man. And He is so good.
Mm, that's powerful
for
stuff.
sure.
And I mean, I feel for you, man. I'll be praying for you.
Thank
You
you.
know, Jason and Jeremy mentioned, sort of what's been going on, and that's a lot. And I know God is going to use that in your life and in your ministry.
Hmm.
Um, I'm curious, how has that been just, with music and or I don't have you been touring or, traveling or even just in the process of making music, how's that
Hmm.
been, affecting that
Yeah.
process and how's that been a benefit maybe to your, to your ministry just to be able to, you know, lean on God more?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is, like last year, I missed going out performing anywhere because of just going through treatments and stuff, and so I missed a lot of that. I miss seeing people and people I love and getting to hang out with everyone and praying for people and just, being used by God in that way. But um, at the same time, like my prayer from the beginning of this, I told God, like, help me not to complain, help me to suffer well. Use this to encourage another encourage and what was it? Encourage and help other people and use this to the fullest extent of your ability.
Mm,
And he continues to do that. And even things like that I've been dealing with like the fatigue from this medication. I mean, it's opened my eyes to being able to sympathize with those who suffer from like fatigue, whether it's ADHD or physical or mental or that kind of stuff. Because I mean, I wouldn't know otherwise, but there's like I have a certain bucket of energy every day, and it's like I have to, use that wisely. So if I
mm,
am going to do something in the morning, I know I'll be wiped out in the latter part of the day. Um, and I'm working with my doctor on that. Hopefully that'll get better. But it's like I said, I'm grateful, and I've thanked God for the cancer. I've thanked God for my weakness. I've thanked God for, even fatigue and everything. He continues to use it. I'm just open to whatever he wants to teach me, however he wants to use this. As far as music, like, not having to work has been nice. I'm grateful that, my employer, with I paid for like short-term disability and long-term disability insurance. So that's paying some of, what I made normally. I mean, it's like 66 and 2/3%, but at least it's something. A lot of people have helped us out financially through like the GoFundMe and stuff. So that's helped immensely with like doctor bills and medical bills and all that stuff. And yeah, like I said, when I started all this, I mean, I think I announced at the time like I'm just going to take a break from music, and I was thinking like 6 months, and like God just kept giving me giving me songs, and I often almost every time I just pray to Him and like, what do you want to write about? What do you want to say? And so He's a lot better songwriter than I am. I
mm,
mean, really. And so this whole album, Modern Psalms 2, it's coming out on the 14th. I released it today on Bandcamp, which I thought I was just going to release the single, but apparently it released the whole thing. So my mistake is your gain. Uh, I am far from perfect, but that's okay.
Yeah,
But even in like a few people reached out to me and they've been, it really helped them what they're going through even today. And I'm like, praise God, that's what I want. I pray over my music. I'm like, God, I dedicate it to Him. I'm just like, use it for whatever purpose you have, reach whoever you want to reach. And, it's for you, and this whole album is reflective of the Psalms, kind of like the predecessor, Modern Psalms. But this one really is more of a worship album. And it has different styles. There's, guitars, there's synthwave, there's kind of the typical David Pataconi stuff, but hopefully it sounds better than the last one, but I like it. But it's been really good just to be able to like I wasn't aiming to write an album, and lo and behold, God's like, I have another idea,
Yeah.
and so that's where it kind of came out of. So it's available now on my Bandcamp, and if you're on social media, like you can find it and all that stuff. But yeah, just I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see, what God's going to do with it, how he's going to reach people and how he's going to use it. Like I said, I don't do this for fame or fortune because I have neither, and I'm fine with that. Um, I have a small platform and I recognize that, but I'm always going to use it to glorify God. And, same thing with Theo Taryn, like, I was talking to Sanchoos over here. We had planned on releasing a song a little bit ago, and just plans kind of changed a little bit. So we're still hammering things out, but yeah, we're still working on Theo Terran music. Turn in line is kind of I release it when I have it, so it's kind of like my playground of when I get to tinker with things that don't fit either project.
Yeah.
It is more cinematic and stuff in general, but I've even done some more EDM kind of stuff in there, so it's kind of fun. Just because I can. So yeah.
You know, I got to tell you, you say that, you're not rich and you're not famous, but you've got people that absolutely love and adore you. Like, I honestly, even though we've never met in person, face to face, I consider you one of my good friends. Like, I know
Likewise.
I can reach out to you and say,
Hmm.
David, I just need prayer. And I
Hmm.
know that you're praying right then. I've done
Yep.
it. Like, bro,
Oh
I
yeah.
need prayer. And you've done the same with me. Like,
Hmm.
and I, people love you, dude. So, the fame, the money, that's nothing. You have family
Yep.
that absolutely loves and adore you. And, you know, Monica, I mean, she's,
Hmm.
your sister, and I think she would literally swing on someone if they tried talking trash about
He
you. So
would. Yeah, she would. You don't want to cross her. Yeah, she's a fiery little Italian, so yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. But no, like seriously, I do have family. I know people love me, and like one of the cool things they did at KCF last year is they had people felt like they gave people the opportunity to write notes on like cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And they sent it to me after KCF happened, and they're like, wrote on the envelope like, open this, but record it when you open it. And I like lost it. I was like, it touched me so like beautifully because I was just overwhelmed by so many people reaching out. And I know there's lots of people praying for me, but it's like I probably know like this little fraction of it. I know there's people all around the world praying for me, and I know God's using my story, and
For
I
sure.
get people reaching out all the time that tell me what's, how it's helping them. And I'm like, praise God. Like, that's what I wanted. That's what I prayed for. And, but yeah, no, I have a lot of people I consider family. Like I said, you guys are all family. Like, everyone at KCF is family. Like, I got family all over, you
Yes,
know,
you do.
and I got friends and I got, all that stuff. And, I'm eternally grateful. I am I try to be relatable with people and all that stuff, but I don't make it like hard to reach me. So
Yeah.
if people do need prayer or encouragement, like those are some of my spiritual gifts. So, I'm grateful to pray for people. And I know, like I said, I've reached out to you, it's like, hey, I need some prayer. You're like, I'm on it. It's like storming the throne of heaven, be like, hey, my brother's, dealing
Yep.
with this stuff. And, it's like, it's amazing the family of God that we get when we give our life to the Lord. It's unlike any other religion in the world. A lot of them are like you have to, please God and do this and do that, and God's like, hey, I paid it all, and
Yep.
you have to, all you have to do is accept it, and that's the start of it, and then you get a relationship with God, through Christ and through Christ alone. But you also get a lot of family. It's weird. Like I'll meet Christians like anywhere, and even if it's the first time I've met them, it's like weird because I could feel it in my spirit, and there's this connection there, and it's like you don't get that anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's so real. It's so true, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to tell you, as far as prayer goes, I mean, here in our Facebook chat, we've got people saying, continuing to pray for you, David. Just like person after person talking about how they're
Mhm.
praying for you. And I got to tell you, at Riker and I's church, we have a Wednesday night prayer meeting, and I asked for prayer for you. And to this day, we still have this. I think she's 90. She comes up to me, "How is your brother David doing?"
Aw.
So, like,
Thank you.
just know that there's people praying for you. And then last night at our small group, I asked for prayer, and everybody just boom, immediately heads down, praying for you. So there's
Thank you
people
so
that don't
much.
even know you that love you, and they're
Praise
praying for
God.
Yeah, and to I think to
That's
your part of to your prior, what you said, God's given you this opportunity through these experiences to touch people and to really
Mhm.
reach them. But He's also given you, at least from what I've seen in your music and talking to you, and and just from what I've heard from like Jason and Jeremy, who know you pretty well, He's also given you the ability to use it very well, to be able to speak on it and to be able to not dwell on the darkness, but to use it as a bridge to show the light, which is
Mhm.
huge. You know what I mean? I tend to spiral in mine. I just go down in this death spiral down to the darkness. Um, and it's really encouraging for me to see, and the way in which you use this, you're using your experiences, and I know it is for others as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah, just yeah, let that be an encouragement to you that
Thank you.
I definitely
Yeah.
see how God has gifted you there.
Thank you. Well, like I said, I'm grateful to be on this path. I mean, God doesn't cause the cancer, but he certainly, put me on this path, but I'm not on this path alone, you know. He's walking with me. I got all you guys. I got, countless people. Like I said, there's probably more people praying for me that I don't know than people I do know.
for
And so
sure.
like even everyone in the chat, I can't see the chat right now because I'm not looking at it, but
Yeah,
like thank you all for praying for me. Thank you for praying for my family. Like it's a very powerful thing to do, and it's the most loving thing to do. Like there's no such thing as a weak prayer, period. Like we don't serve a weak God. So you guys are all making a difference. I want you guys to know that too. And Riker, thank you for what you're saying too. And I want to encourage you, like, dude, I'm no stranger to depression or anxiety or that kind of stuff. And like, dude, I've been in that downward spiral, and especially even with this, like, like in reality, yeah, I've cried countless tears, and in Psalms it talks about where God actually bottles our tears, like counts them,
Mm,
because it means something to him, and so what we go through, like he's fully aware of what we're going through, and it's like, hey, like we get to come to him.
mm,
And, it's not like he always like makes everything better right away. Sometimes we have to go through that trial. We have to go through that storm because there's a lesson in it. There's someone else that needs our experience going through that, oftentimes like, I would go through something, and I know I'm not the only one, but it's like, I'd go through it and I'd be done with it. And it's like, wow, that was pretty crazy, but I survived it. And then God would put someone in my path that like is just either going through it or just starting to. And I'm like, hey, I've been there, I've survived, I've survived that storm, and that's the beauty of it, is like God doesn't waste, those trials. And really our trials, like we're always, Ash on my label with ADWMR, um, he says that, we're always either going into a storm, coming out of one, or going through one, and often they overlap. And that's the things, that's where our biggest growth comes from.
mm,
I've grown immensely in my faith, and I mean, my relationship with God has gotten so much stronger and better, through all of this, and I'm not even through it yet, so
yeah,
but yeah, Riker, if you ever need prayer or anything, dude, like seriously reach out, man. Like
yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want you to suffer alone either, man, because that's too easy, man, to go through the downward spiral of
Yeah.
depression or like that. That's, like that's not where we're meant. We're more than conquerors through Christ, right?
Mm,
So we got to live that.
So we have a listener, Jeffrey Reynolds, who says he absolutely loves your song. This Path I Walk. And just listening to you talk right now, it made him think of that song. And then Jim Walker says, many of us have our own path that we are also walking. And Holly Burmeister says, love you, bro.
Oh, it's my sister.
Yeah.
Cool. She did join. Yay. Hi, sis.
Hi, sis.
Yeah. No, I love those guys. Yeah, Jeff and I go way back too. I think he first met me, or I first met him at KCF, like back in 22, I think. So yeah.
Hmm, very nice. So you said that Modern Psalms 2 comes out on the 14th, but they can get it on Bandcamp right now, right?
Un yeah, unplanned, but yes. Yeah, you can go to all one word, davidpataconi.bandcamp.com. It's right there. It's the latest release and stuff. My intent with it was supposed to have a release date of the 14th, but then you get like the song Holy, which is like the lead single with it that comes
Yeah.
out kind of alongside with it. Um, and it didn't go as planned because I mean you can get Holy, but you can get all the other ones too. So it is what it is. Like, I
Eh,
mean, if you like, iTunes and all that stuff, you're gonna have to wait. But if you want it, now
11
it's
days
there.
early.
Yeah.
nice. And you sent us Holy, and that song is phenomenal. Like
Oh, thank you.
there is something I think about your last few releases that have been really special. Like I know you said you're moving towards more towards like the worship music with this latest one, but man, like the spirituality and the depth that you go, the songs that you've sent us so far, oh, so good. Like, brother, you can tell that God is just got his hand on you right now. So
Thank you so
I
much.
just
Praise Jesus.
it's something special for me that I get to tell the artists that I listen to and that I love. Thank you for your music. So honestly, thank
Thank you.
you for your music. Like
Mm.
when I'm down, I listen to some Pataconi.
Aw, praise God. Thank you.
Mm.
That's so encouraging. I really appreciate it.
And you do one of the my favorite cover songs ever because I'm a cover song nerd
Okay.
and I love Demon Hunter. And you covered a Demon Hunter song, but you put the Pataconi spin to it. And don't come after me in the comments, people, but your version's better.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you. I would love
Yes.
to work with Ryan Clark or just meet him one time or any of the guys in Demon Hunter. Like I've kind of quasi met Yogi Watts,
Yeah.
he's a super cool dude.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I do have like a cover I've been working on the last few years of it was a Knives song actually because I love Knives, I love Demon Hunter and
Yeah.
Knives is kind of like if you took Ryan Clark and made it kind of Depeche Mode, you know it's just
Okay.
epic, like any I definitely recommend it's Nyves. I definitely recommend that project, and I think it was Torres. I can't remember the guy's first name. Um, but they got together and were working on that project together for a while. They have I think two EPs out. They're also on Bandcamp. That's where I got them. Um, but the depth of like his lyrics and that kind of style, like I love it. That just speaks to my heart. So
Mm.
Yeah.
So you
Riker,
mentioned,
if you haven't heard his cover yet, I will send it to you because
yeah, feel
bro,
free,
all right, I
or I'll
definitely want
send
to
it.
listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on YouTube also. So I did like an AI video on there when like AI was still kind of doing some interesting things.
we
So
don't
I
mention
had
the
fun with that.
AI thing on the show. Shh.
Oh, sorry. It
You'll
was
ruffle some
Apple
feathers.
Intelligence.
So you mentioned that
Oh,
you've been working on this Knives cover. Are you working
Mhm.
on anything else? Got anything else in the pipeline?
Like I said, the main focus now after releasing this album for Pataconi, like I said, I want to play. I'm itching to play live. And then as for like the next focus right now is on Theo Terran to get something else out there. I think we have enough material to have an album, but it's like just enough. So I usually try to write at least like 15 to 20 songs before I like have an album
Yeah.
available. Just to be able to choose kind of, what we see fits and stuff. But we're working on some really cool stuff. There's a song that I'm itching to release that I think is our best song ever. And Monica says the same thing. So yeah, keep your eye out for Theo Terran. Like I said, we're just trying to iron out some timing and things like that. But yeah, we're still working on music. The project's still alive and going, and so it's been we've both had challenges in life which kind of delay things. So, it's all good.
Mm.
We've got some more people in the chat that want to say hi to you. Someone named Dan says, "Sup, Knuckles."
No, it's probably my brother.
I was gonna say it is Dan Pataconi.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be my brother. Yeah. What's up,
And
dude?
then Angela Arnold says, "Big love, David. Thanks for sharing your heart and your music with
Aw,
us."
thank you. Yeah, she's a sweetheart too. Thank you so much.
So we got Theo Terran coming out soonish. We got Modern Psalms 2 out-ish.
Well, it's out now, but not
Yeah.
officially, but kind of
Yeah,
officially.
that's all
Yeah. Asterisk somewhere,
asterisk somewhere. Yeah.
It's coming out on the 14th, but you can get it now.
Yes. And we're gonna put links to everything
Oh, thank
in
you.
our show notes, your Bandcamp, your GoFundMe, because that's important to us, is we want
Thank
people
you.
to support you and help you out however they can. So if you don't mind, will you tell people how they can help you out, and tell them a little bit about the GoFundMe, where they can go, what they should look up?
Yeah, I mean, literally you could Google GoFundMe David Pataconi. It's like the first hit. I don't remember what the link is or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
like really easy to find. Um, Actually, what's funny is because when I got out of the hospital the second time, my grandpa and a friend of mine were like, "You need to do a GoFundMe," and I'm like, "Why?" And they were kind of telling me like there's all these expenses and stuff like that for medical bills and like even transportation and like all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, like how much do I ask for, And so I think I did like 7,500 was the original ask because that was like my out of pocket, like what do you call it, the deductible or whatever for
Yeah.
the year. Um, and then just kind of because of all the medical things, because like every time I get like a CAT scan and an MRI, it's like almost $400, like, and I get those, every few months. And that's just one thing that racks up. And, like I said, the hospital stays. I mean, my insurance covered most of the hospital stays, but I still owe, like $1,400 or $1,200 or something like that. I think we're paying it off like $250 a month for a year or something like that. But yeah, it's mostly for medical. And then just kind of like I said, as we have needs. I don't want to use it as like a crutch or like, an excuse to
Yeah.
like for anything. Like if people want to give, I'm grateful. I generally don't post about it anymore. Just, like I said, it's kind of like I think we have enough, at least right now, unless something else comes up. I certainly don't want to abuse it or like that. We do have, like, and part of my thought is like, if this goes the way I don't want it to go. I mean, there's expenses with that too, but I really, I have hope. I don't think I'm going to die from this. And, God continues to give me hope and peace and joy through all of it. And so, I have confidence in him, and whatever his plan is, and I just trust him. And, so like I said, I don't think we have any needs on that right now. I've kind of like let it sit. I mean, people feel led, if the Lord puts that on your heart, feel free. I don't know of any other expenses right now that we need to worry about. So like that said, I'm extremely grateful to everyone who has donated. I mean, you have all helped us out tremendously, and I can never thank you enough.
If like what you saw today, hit the subscribe and like button down below, and don't forget to share to all your friends. Also, leave us a comment down below. If you're gonna rock, rock for him.